In the shadows of the explicit content industry, there's a growing story, one that links pro-Israeli political agenda with some of the most influential figures in adult entertainment. The connections between explicit content, Zionism, and the manipulation of global power are far from simple. But what happens when profit and politics intersect? Pornhub, the world's largest adult website, is under the spotlight not only because of its controversial business practices, but also due to its unexpected ties to Israel. But the issue isn't limited to just one website. Zionist influence stretches across the entire adult entertainment industry. Not so explicit sway in a very explicit industry. A significant portion of the explicit content industry has been shaped by members of the US Jewish community, Israeli citizens, and Zionist entrepreneurs. From Ron Jeremy, the notorious star of the adult entertainment world, and Stephen Hirsch, the CEO of Vivid Entertainment, to Ruben Sturman, co-founder of sex toy company Doc Johnson and often referred to as the Walt Disney of porn. Enter Alo Holding, formerly MindGeek, the corporation behind Pornhub, YouPorn, and Brazzers. Despite facing multiple legal investigations, allegations of sex trafficking, and accusation of abuse, Alo continues to thrive. Why? Zionism is more than just a political movement. It has become a global network of power influencing everything from state media outlets to corporate boardrooms. Zionists are deliberately infiltrating and corrupting the minds of followers of other religions, using industries like adult entertainment to smear cultures and societies it wishes to punish, subvert, or vilify. The explicit content sector, often seen as a shadowy business that's taboo, is part of the global Zionist strategy, with companies like Pornhub aligning themselves with Israeli political interests. Then there's Leonid Radvinsky, the billionaire behind OnlyFans, the platform that has empowered explicit content creators. Despite the platform's image as a space for independent creators, Radvinsky has significantly funded pro-Israeli causes, donating $11 million to AIPAC. But this isn't just philanthropy. This is political backing. At the heart of Pornhub's efforts to clean up its image is Solomon Friedman, a man with both a criminal defense lawyer background and a strong Jewish identity. Friedman, who also happens to be an ordained rabbi, was brought in to oversee Pornhub's compliance as an owning partner. His appointment raises further questions. Was he selected to protect the victims of trafficking, or was he appointed to align the company's interests with large Zionist political agenda? Is it a coincidence that the name of his law firm is Ethical Capital Partners? The Zionist community is no stranger to scandals of its own. Shockingly or not, over the years, several rabbis tied to prominent Jewish organizations have been arrested for pedophilia and child abuse. Figures such as Rabbi Baruch Lanner and Rabbi Mordechai Gafni have faced multiple accusations of sexual misconduct. And while some of these men have been convicted, others like Michael Pratt, co-founder of Girls Do Porn Company, tied to trafficking charges, are known to be Zionist sympathizers. Michael Pratt's direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein has further entrenched his ties to powerful figures within the Zionist network. We will just call this explicit diplomacy. We cannot ignore Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Zionism either. Epstein, who is believed to have used his influence and wealth to support Israel's agenda, donated millions to Israeli causes, and met with former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak on multiple occasions. Even more disturbing, many US citizens with Jewish backgrounds who have been convicted for heinous crimes including pedophilia have procured Israeli passports and fled the US to the so-called Jewish state to avoid prosecution. Upon arriving in Israel or occupied Palestine as settlers, they are warmly received by the Israeli state. Everywhere else in the world, they're seen as dangerous psychopaths, but in Israel, they're just settlers with very explicit baggage. Groups like Exodus Cry have been calling for Pornhub's closure, accusing the site of facilitating sex trafficking and profiting from non-consensual content. Despite the mounting pressure and public outcry, Pornhub's owners continue to funnel profits into pro-Israeli causes. And then there's a contradiction. Pornhub Cares, the company's charitable arm, claims to support causes like feminism, cancer prevention, and women's empowerment. They've donated to causes that seem noble on the surface, but the truth is much darker. While the company profits from the exploitation of women, it hides behind these charity campaigns to whitewash its image, pretending to promote the idea of feminist empowerment while actively degrading women with its content. Explicit hypocrisy. The rise of explicit content is tied to Zionist interests more than many realize. What's happening behind the closed doors of Pornhub, OnlyFans, and other platforms is more than just exploitation. It's about the larger Zionist agenda. But listen, it's all an anti-Semitic conspiracy, right? As Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, an influential and former chief rabbi of Israel, once said, it's permissible for Jews to corrupt the nations of the world through immoral content. Jews opposing Zionism and Zionists have a message for you. Explicit content against the explicit truth by explicit Zionists for explicit agendas after explicit cash.